Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are on a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com.
What happened when?
WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm great, Conrad. How you doing, buddy?
Man, better than I deserve. Excited to be with you. We've got Thanksgiving in the rearview mirror. We're coming off of what I believe to be the most special podcast you and I have probably ever recorded together. It was our Thanksgiving tradition. We watched Starrcade 86, but it wasn't just you and I. We were joined by one of the most underrated commentators of all time, one of the owners of Jim Crockett Promotions. Ladies and gentlemen, David Crockett was the man last week. I got overwhelmingly good feedback. What about you, Tony?
I did too. A lot of people missed David's excitement, missed David's passion for the sport. You know what, Conrad? I miss it too a lot when I sit down and do some things, because he and I think it was very apparent that if you watch our shows, and we're getting ready to watch the first post-Starrcade show of 1986, I think it's very apparent when you watch our shows that David and I really enjoyed each other's work together. We really enjoyed working together. We had a good time. And you could see it on the podcast we did a week ago, where David was very excited, very happy to be with us. And that's the type of David Crockett that I remember. He was always in a good mood. Well, I shouldn't say always in a good mood. When you run a company, own a company, there are going to be things that I'm sure drag you down. But most of all, he was in a good mood and was in a good mood on the air. And that's what we had last week. I really enjoyed being with him again. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of fun going back and looking at some of the special matches during a very special Starrcade 86.
And I, on the heels of what we did last week, I think everybody knows that leaves us with one question. And Tony, that's what everybody's been asking. When is David Crockett going to be back? And yes, boys and girls, we are going to have David Crockett back on the program. I don't know who has more fun, us or him, man. He loved it.
Yeah, he did. And he's reached out to me since then, and to both of us, how much he enjoyed being with us. And had a pretty good setup at his house there too, didn't he?
Dude, he had a really cool backdrop.
Yeah.
But maybe the highlight of the whole thing for me is not just his insight and his enthusiasm and his excitement, but the idea that he kept those little red books all these years later.
Isn't that something?
And he's got them for 85, 86, and 87. You want to talk about the biggest years in the history of Jim Crockett Promotions for a variety of reasons. But my goodness, I was taken aback that he had them. I was so pumped that he had them, and he was happy to show them on camera. And so cool, man. I mean, he's got history in his hands right there.
Yeah, he does. And I remember those books, and I didn't want to say this. I wanted, because I didn't know if he remembered, or I didn't know if he thought there was something else. But to me, that was very much J.J. Dillon's handwriting.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, in those books. J.J. had a very, very nice
penmanship. He had
Yes.
great penmanship. I've heard that a lot.
Right. And that was his handwriting. And JJ kind of kept the book because he wrote down the date and the card on the date book, and then he would write down, the numbers and things. And JJ was the one that really kept the official book for everybody. Conrad, I want to say something here about our buddy JR.
Yes, please.
Who's going through some health problems right now. He will not be on our programs until the first of the year.
And you're going to steal his job. Just admit it now.
No, I'm not.
Your voice here.
No, I'm not.
Well, I'm glad you're not at least admitting it, and you're going to try to play it close to the vest, because JR and I are on to you, dude.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We've had a lot of conversations about that. Nothing happening, Tony Schiavone.
Okay, well, you are a fucking lie.
Yeah, no, we are pulling for JR, though. No lie there.
Yeah.
He's in a battle right now. He just had a couple of cancer spots removed from his back.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's got a situation with his leg now that, as I understand it, Tony, he's going to go through not one, not two, but 22 consecutive chemo treatments.
Right.
So he's not going to be able to travel on the road because he's doing those every single day.
Right.
The goal is, let's go ahead and get these behind us. And by the end of the year in Jacksonville, when AEW returns home, so will Jim Ross. And we're pulling for him.
Called him yesterday on the phone and talked to him. And I was sitting here at the desk and I was thinking, you know what? I'm a lousy fucking friend. You know that already.
Yes.
And I am. I'm a lousy friend. I'm very, very, I'm not good at keeping in touch. So I thought about him and I called him and we talked and I told him, I said, I'm sorry about being a terrible friend. And I want to let you know, I'm thinking about you and we need you back on TV quickly because he has a presence on TV that nobody else has.
I agree.
And I said, I'll keep in touch with you. So I'm going to give him a call every week, see how he's doing and keep up with him. So our best to JR, and we will try to hold the fort down without him because he's been the focal point of the announce team since the inception of AEW. And he's a lot of fun to work with. A lot of fun. As you know, once you get JR rolling, it's the best.
And as the rumor and innuendo goes,
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have Ricky Starks, Chris Jericho, Mark Henry, Paul White, Excalibur, yourself,
yes,
and 7 other new announcers debuting on Dynamite just to try to fill his shoes.
Exactly. Right. And
it'll be a 32-person desk.
Right.
And I know that's music to your ears because you'll somehow be able to say even less.
Yes. And I still will be able to waddle my way backstage to do interviews backstage or waddle my way to the ring and do, I love doing interviews in the ring. Do you know why?
It reminds you of the 1980s.
No, because I can, because they're so easy.
See, you just stand there and do nothing.
You stand there and you say, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, like this past week. Here he is. He'll vie for the world title against Hangman Adam Page, Bryan Danielson. And he takes the mic from me and I'm done. You just intro. And people say, you going to the ring to do an interview? I say, no, I'm going to the ring to hold the microphone. There's no interview. There never was really an interview. You'll take a look at most of what we do. Some of the things that we're about to see, I ask questions, but mostly I just hold the microphone.
Right.
Which people think it's an interview, but it's a wrestler promo. So I enjoy those. I really enjoy doing that. And it keeps me hopping. I can tell you that because I'm always going down and around and out in the backstage. And did you see the Friendsgiving thing with me and Britt and Rebel? Did you enjoy that?
It was playing in the background at my house. Yes.
Oh, playing in the background. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I had 26 people at my house, Tony.
Okay.
So not everybody there couldn't wait to see what Tony fucking Schiavone was up to.
Well, why didn't they?
Well, because they were normal, well-adjusted humans, you see.
Oh, normal? You really? You had the Flair family there and you had normal, well-adjusted?
I'm just saying.
Pardon me.
Based on the tweets I saw, it wasn't just us that wasn't necessarily paying attention either. But
oh God. Anyway, It's been a great holiday, great start to the holiday season, so to speak. And I'm again thinking of JR and
Absolutely.
hopefully.
JR's
So
the man, dude. And
yeah.
I'm pulling for him. I know you are too. And
Mhm.
let me just ask before we get going. By the way, we're watching season 2, episode 47. In case you've been under a rock, we've been going episodically through 1986.
Mhm.
So get your cock out, pull up Peacock, and go over to season 2, episode 47. That's November 29th, 1986. We're back caught up, Tony. We had to deviate a little bit because we did 1 week with a series of guests talking about 1986, and then we followed up with a watch along for Starrcade with David Crockett. Might be 2 of the best back-to-back episodes we ever had, and unfortunately, some of the best stuff people didn't even get to hear. We haven't talked about it on the air, but how much of an edit job did you have to do on Ric Flair just to make sure we could air it here?
Oh boy, a lot. There was an audible beep during one of them, and I want to tell you what he said during that audible beep. I listened back to it,
Yeah,
and listened back to it again, and I gut laughed so much. It was so funny, but I just could not let it air. And then I had to pull out some things, but
you had to pull out several things that,
mhm.
boy, we both would have been in trouble if that aired.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow.
It was his opinion that we pulled out. Okay.
Well, it was his opinion, but he also was talking about contract values and other things that you just don't talk
Right.
about.
No, and I don't want people to hear him on my podcast, on our podcast.
No, because that'd be bad if it aired on your show. Now,
Yeah.
if he wants to go on his show,
Uh-huh.
Ric Flair Uncensored, I think is the name of that one, then that's
Yeah.
one thing. But to do it on your show, boy, that would have been a bad look for you. And as he was saying it, I was thinking, Tony's got a decision to make.
Mhm.
And you made the right one.
Tony Schiavone here to tell you about the greatest value in the history of our great sport. AdFreeShows.com. Get every episode of What Happened When and all of Conrad's other podcasts early, ad-free, and on video for as low as $9 a month. That's the price of a Starbucks coffee for hundreds of hours of video and audio content each month. That's not all. AdFreeShows.com is home to exclusive bonus content, like interactive events where you get to ask me anything during our Ask Tony live events. And if you're a Top Guy member, we got to hang out for the entire weekend in Chicago at Top Guy Weekend recently. Did I mention there's also happy hour every other Sunday with my dear, good, close personal friend, Rebel? If you call yourself a wrestling fan and haven't signed up for ad-free shows yet, you a lie. Sign up today at adfreeshows.com.
It was not a difficult decision.
So can I go ahead and address the other thing that happened this past weekend that you've been very gracious and not brought up at all?
Yeah, I guess. What is that?
I just want to go ahead and concede that this coming weekend, Georgia's just going to destroy Alabama.
We'll see.
Georgia had the showing of all showings over the weekend, 45-0 over their in-state rival, Georgia Tech. Meanwhile, for the first time in Iron Bowl history, which is what we call the Alabama-Auburn game in these parts, we went to overtime. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. They were unranked, and they had our number, and we didn't score a touchdown until the final closing seconds of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And we did not look like a super team. So we had a golden horseshoe up our ass this week. And I, for one, am nervous about this coming week. And I even tweeted out, well, we had a good run. And I think a lot of people who were watching the game thought I was giving up on Alabama this week. I was more referencing next week. I think dominance in the SEC comes to an end next week. Georgia's the best team in the country this year, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I still want Alabama to win. But I'm also being realistic. A 2-loss Alabama, who would lose to Texas A&M and Georgia, who was nearly a 3-loss team, Alabama, probably not going to get a playoff spot.
Well, we will see. I still think that the top 2 teams in the SEC are better than any other teams in the country.
I would not disagree with that, especially when you have, overinflated, overhyped, bullshit teams like Ohio State
and Michigan
and Oklahoma.
Yeah, and easy now. And anybody from out now, I mean, they'll throw an Oregon in there or Notre Dame in there. Just
How about
I
fucking
want.
Cincinnati? Are they looking for directions? Like when they get in the playoffs, boy,
Mhm.
I'd love to just bet everything you own on whoever Cincinnati's playing. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That would be like if all of a sudden Matt Schiavone was in the main event of AEW Revolution. I love Matt
Yeah.
Schiavone. I love Chris
Yeah.
Schiavone. But if all of a sudden they're taking on the Young Bucks, buddy,
Yeah. Right.
it ain't going their way.
Well, here's a couple of things. Cincinnati played the Georgia Bulldogs last year in the Peach Bowl, which, by the way, was my last game with the Georgia Bulldogs, and it was a very, very tough game. But then again, I'm telling you, Conrad, this is not a college football podcast, I know, but I do want to say this. Thanks to television and ESPN, the bowl games mean nothing anymore.
No, less than
And
nothing. Georgia didn't care about that
less
game
than-
last year.
They did not care about that game last year. So I'm not making excuses. They won the game. We were in Cincinnati this past year to do a dynamite, and we were at the arena at the University of Cincinnati. You walk out the arena, and you're right at the football stadium. We actually could stand in the middle of the football stadium, and their football stadium is very, very small. And I'm thinking that, you know what, they just do not have a big enough program yet because they do not have the recruiting base that these SEC teams have. And that's the whole key to get the good players, right? So
It's all about recruiting. About recruiting.
So anyway, I appreciate you giving up the ghost. I do want to say this, that the game was on when Lois and I were eating dinner last night. So I told her, I said, for God's sakes, turn on something instead of Fox freaking News. And she turned on, and there was Auburn, Alabama, and it was like 10-0 in the fourth quarter.
And you were so excited.
No, I was not. I hate Auburn. I want them to lose every game they play.
I forgot.
Every game they play.
Yeah.
Every game they play. And Lois says, you think Conrad's squirming right now? I said, no, but I know Larry Thompson is.
Oh my God.
I was thinking about your dad.
We still had a house full of company. And buddy, let me just say, some kids learned some new words and combinations of words they've never heard this week.
Especially the word bitch.
Oh my God. So many. I felt bad for Cassio by the end because he was the only Auburn fan here.
Yeah.
Buddy, when Bryce Young threw that touchdown, oh God. I mean, I felt confident Larry Thompson was going to chop him, throw him in the turnbuckle, turn him a flip. The whole thing. It wouldn't have shocked me. Never mind. Hey, so let's fire up WHW. You know, it's time to get going. World Championship Wrestling Season 2, Episode 47, November 29th, 1986. It's a 52-minute episode. Stay tuned till the end of the show. We've got a big announcement about the future of WHW. No, we're not canceling. Well, I don't think we might be getting canceled. Either way. Tony, I understand that you might have a special countdown for us today.
We have a very, very special countdown this week. And let me give you the backstory. This comes from Steph Chesney, longtime low-key big hog, and a legitimate rock and roll star, and a big fan of Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
What? Fuck this person. What are you talking about?
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I said that because I wanted to pop him because I know he's listening. Steph has worked diligently and a long time on this countdown because he has so much to do, and he works in the studio, and he's a great guitarist. He put together a hell of a countdown for us. Now, at the end of this, he's going to say 3, 2, 1, play. Say the play comes quickly, okay? So I don't want everybody to get sidetracked on this, but he put a hell of an effort into this. Steph, I'm very proud of you. You did a hell of a job, like everybody does. But this comes from his studio, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
This is Steph Chesney. He lives here in the States, but he is from England originally, and he's a good friend of ours. And here's this week's countdown.
You know it's all about your
motherfuckers that an old 63-year-old man beat your ass.
Dude, is that the fucking coolest countdown we've ever had?
Is that something?
Dude, he crushed that. That was outstanding.
Good job, Steph.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know,
It
you
was
always
worth the
think
wait.
it's very special, and it's basically the equivalent of someone farting into the microphone. But that was really outstanding. Good job.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
And now let's go to Tony and David. Oh my God, we got a sponsor.
Weeder.
For equipment, nutrition, and information, Weeder is America's total fitness company.
All right, we called the Starrcade 86 was the greatest wrestling event ever. And Tony, we've got highlights of Starrcade. But what we saw at the top of the program, the Bunkhouse Stampede, it starts Monday.
David, you're right. The Bunkhouse Stampede comes your way in the month of December. You're talking about putting about 20 to 25 men in the ring together. Anything goes. Throw the man
No
over the top
friends.
rope. No friends at all. You're exactly right. That's going to be some event, David. We've got a great show today. 2 full hours of World Championship Wrestling.
That's right, Tony. And you hear the fans, they're ready for the action.
Okay. Action in the ring. Let's. Well,
Wait a
here
minute,
comes
wait a minute.
gorgeous
Look, here he
Garvin.
comes.
Along with Precious.
Oh, yeah. Can he take a look at this? Take a look at this here, will ya? Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin had to put the sequence away for what's about ready to happen. I had to don the jeans, and I gotta tell you, if you ever thought there could be nothing better than Christmas, you're wrong. If you thought there could be nothing better than gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, well, there's not nothing better than me. But I gotta tell you, December, the Bunkhouse Stampedes, 25 men in the ring all at the same time. A whole bunch of money that we can spend. Oh, no rules and regulations. I mean to tell you, I got this here. I've been practicing how to whip off this belt. Whoa, pretty good, huh? Whip off this belt and beat somebody with it. I can't believe it. I gotta admit to the fans, though, I was a little bit of a stooge. That's right. You remember I had to almost get front row seats for Starrcade, not for the Bunkhouse. I camped out in front of Jimmy Crockett's house, and when I found out that he was signing these matches all over the country, I bust through the door and I said, Jimmy Crockett, you gotta put my name down. Gorgeous Jimmy #1. Right, and don't worry, Squeeze. I know you've been a little nervous about me getting in this thing. I mean, just a thing about no rules or nothing. Don't worry about it, David Crockett. Well, I'm gonna walk away with all the money. I almost take my breath.
Okay, let's go to the ring.
I love that he is so over the top with it. As we see superstar Bill Dundee, I think he's having a short off with the referee and his opponent.
I like how he said, let me whip this out. And then he kind of reached down there and she went, oh my God.
The old Blazing Saddles deal.
Yes, exactly.
This looks like a riot at a daycare right now, what we're watching.
Billy Dundee. I guess we've lost Buddy Landell again, haven't we?
Yeah,
they were together, and then all of a sudden it didn't take long. And he's gone.
Were you surprised?
No. That's amazing. That's terrible.
Just so you know, the reason he's not here is because
okay.
He joined Bill Watts's Universal Wrestling Federation the prior month, back in October
Okay.
of 1986. It was a show in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa. Well, there, at least he was doing something this time. Look at Dundee, man. Dundee had a great mullet, didn't he? And so did Scrappy.
Do you think that was heat over his promo? He once did in September an episode of NWA Pro where he said he was Space Mountain, or Flair did, where he said, "Hey, I'm Space Mountain," and Buddy is playing Ride the Wild Mouse. And I know it felt like they were building towards something, but I don't think this is the era where he had the whole oversleeping situation. This was the second chance from that.
That's right.
So, I mean, do you think he never worked a program with Flair? Was Flair angling for that, or did he understand? Do you think Flair knew, hey, this kid ain't long for this world.
Yeah, I think Flair knew that. Because I think, and the reason I think Flair knew that is obviously Flair had a lot of pull about who he was going to wrestle, who he wouldn't. And Buddy not been such a, and there's your finish, not been such a knucklehead, was a hell of a worker, and he and Flair probably would have had a great match, right?
His last match, as far as I can tell, with you guys, was in Charleston, South Carolina at St. Andrews High School Gym. He was second from the top on October 11th against Jimmy Valiant. Let's take a listen.
Stampede. That's right, Dennis. Yeah, I'm afraid he is. Everybody's talking about the Bunkhouse Stampede going on all month in December. There's going to be 20, 25 guys in the ring. Big battle royal all at the same time for up to $25,000. And everybody's going to have street clothes, and everybody can bring what they want. It's just like a bunkhouse match, only with 25 men involved. You know what that'd be like? It'd be like if you're going down Main Street, USA, and a Brinks armored car comes right along and it hits a bump, and out flies $25,000, and you got construction workers carrying 2x4s, and you got secretaries with their purses, and you got bankers, lawyers, doctors, Indian chiefs, everybody on the street, on the sidewalk, drops whatever they're doing, picks up whatever they can find, and goes to beating people in and around the face and head with it, with blunt instruments, trying to get that money off that street. Well, let me tell you something. What I have here is the greatest tag team in professional wrestling, the Midnight Express, twin sons of different mothers. They're not 6 feet tall and 250 pounds apiece. They're 12 feet tall and 500 pounds together. And back here, the baddest man in the world, Big Bubba Rogers, 6 feet 8, 357 pounds. And the three of them are going to be in those Bunkhouse Stampedes. And the three of them are going to be working in unison as one, going for all that money, because as y'all know, Tony Schiavone, there's a lot of opportunities out there if you know where to find them. They got the brawn, I got the brains, and we're going to make a lot of money in the Bunkhouse Stampedes. And I want to say one more thing before I go. Road Warriors, Precious Paul Ellering, we ain't finished with you yet. I don't care what it takes. We'll scaffold you around this country, or maybe in the Bunkhouse Stampede. But sooner or later, Road Warriors, you're going to be finished in professional wrestling, and these are the men that are going to do it. No more Road Warriors, no more career, no more nothing. You got a hospital in your future, Jack.
We'll be back right after this timeout.
Did Cornette take a breath during that?
He did not.
Dude, he was wide open and in rare form. And does he get promotion or what? We're just right off of Starrcade, and he's already plugging the next big event, and we're back.
Again, Jim Cornette along with Big Bubba.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mulkey Mania is alive and well in the ring, but only for a second. Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express.
Bobby was doing a lot of fucking with me during that interview, if you recall. I mean, he had his arm around me, pushed me. He grabbed my format, and he mixed up the papers. And it was a lot of fun with him. God, I miss him.
Mulkey Mania. I mean, these guys were known as being one of the greatest sets of enhancement talents of all time.
Because they could flop around the ring with the best of them, or probably better than any of them.
I mean, George South was up there too.
Yeah, I know, but the Mulkeys were like, and I'm not discounting. Come on, get out of the camera shot there. Well, there's a reason.
Oh wow, nice job.
They probably did that.
Andre dump one of the Mulkeys over the ring, and Big Bubba caught him and threw him back in the ring. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm not discounting the way the Mulkeys could work, but they basically just were crash test dummies, you know?
Right.
I mean, you just threw them around is all you did. And that's all they've done. They've had no offense here at all. And Bobby, and they're just taking them, and as we just saw, throwing him to Bubba. I wonder if they threw him to Bubba so Bubba could catch him, just to show that Bubba could catch a body flying when he didn't catch Cornette.
Oh, wow. That's fun. Wait, I appreciate that, but I want to mention this was actually taped ahead of Starrcade.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
This was done on November 23rd.
Yeah.
And of course, as we know, Starrcade was a few days later on November 27th. So yeah, what we're watching was actually recorded before the big event. So you probably won't hear people bragging about Starrcade too much, but we will probably hear some of that next week, I would guess.
Yeah. Well, we said at the opening we would have Starrcade highlights, and so I guess we rolled them in later.
I just mean in terms of you're not going to tell the studio audience here, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but Cornette said the deal's not finished with you, Road Warriors, or something like that. Very generic.
Yes. Yeah. And he still plugged Bunkhouse Stampede.
Right. Right. All right. Here come the Mulkeys getting a little comeback here on Bobby.
Not for long.
Not one knee, and that is that.
The monkey comeback lasted as long as Jeff Jarrett did as a horseman. Not for long. Oh, he's going up top. Let's track it.
Now watch him fly. Oh, elbow into the chest.
I thought it was going to be the big leg drop. Yeah. I want to mention, I know we did it before, but the day after Starrcade, you guys were in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
9,000 fans there on the 28th. On the 29th, you're in Bloomington, Minnesota, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a double shot. On the 30th, Peoria, Illinois, easy for me to say. On December 1st, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and then a TV taping in Rock Hill on the 2nd. You're in Raleigh at the Dorton Arena on December 3rd, Columbus, Georgia on the 4th, Hampton, Virginia on the 5th. You're at a Central State show, which by this point, Jim Crockett owns, on December 5th. And then we do another episode of the WTBS tapings, which would have been December 6th, 1986. And that's what we'll be covering here next week on the program.
Wow. Did you see during that exchange, Bobby took one of the Mulkeys and rolled him on top of him?
So it was a great sequence. And if you don't watch these shows with us, you definitely should go back and watch this one.
Right.
You see Dennis Condrey setting up a double team maneuver over the knee of Bobby Eaton. But yeah, Bobby had the Mulkey pinned and then picked up his wrist.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to finish him just yet.
Right.
Then he did it a second time, and then he just rolled over and pulled the monkey on top of him and then kicked out. What a creative pinning combination there.
Yeah.
Bobby Eaton really expressing himself, and he's talk about a talented dude. And you know what? I wonder if that was what you were talking about with Big Bubba catching the guy, but that was supposed to be the training session for catching Jim Cornette.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Hockey World Championship Wrestling. Good to have Brad Armstrong back with us, Brad.
Thank you very much, Tony. You know, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, you know, and when Christmas time comes, it brings what they call the Bunkhouse Stampede, brother. What happens there is 20 to 25 men all in the same ring, dressed any way you want to. Come as you are, brother. Bring anything you want to. A lot of things are legal. And when there's 25 men in the ring at one time, anything can happen, and it probably will. You know, it can be a life-threatening or a career-threatening move to get into a match like this. But, brother, there's a lot of money involved. And when you talk about a lot of money, you talk about a lot of chances. People do a lot of things for a lot of money. And like I said, with a Bunkhouse Stampede coming up, a lot of money is involved. And I know that to move up the ladder, my ultimate goal is to be the world's heavyweight champion, Tony. But to do something like this, a Bunkhouse Stampede, is just one of the biggest things. What are you doing? I'm sorry, Tony. Tony Schiavone, this is my father, Bob Armstrong. Bob,
Nice to meet you too. Good to see you.
I just want to come by and say howdy. You know, Christmas is a time for surprises, and brother, I wanted to give you one.
It's family time. I love it.
Okay.
Excuse me, please. I need to
Bob, listen, get a chance. Come on back, talk to us a little bit later on, okay? Okay, Bob Armstrong along with Brad. Good to see him here. Action continues on this program. Let's go back to the ring.
So see the Barbarian here beat up Paul Garner, but you know, I love that little surprise. I think that's cool, but at the same time, you got to wonder, boys, in kayfabe, is Bob Armstrong an asshole? He just walks out and interrupts TV.
Yeah, I guess they're getting ready to do a little angle here. I don't know if it's going to be on this show or not, or maybe it's next week's show where Bob comes out, and it may be on this show, and Dundee comes out along with Jimmy Garvin. I remember it distinctly, and here's the reason I remember it. They pulled the coat of Bob Armstrong down to where he couldn't round his biceps, where he couldn't respond, and took a trash can or something, hit him over the head with it. Then later, Brad Armstrong came out and gave what I thought was his greatest promo ever. And that's why I remember the whole angle, because of Brad Armstrong's promo later. So hopefully it's this show. And it's something I don't remember much, but I remember that.
Well, when Brad Armstrong does a good promo, it sticks out.
Well, you know, the promo he did right there was pretty solid Southern type promo. He's got a very Southern talk, and he talked about the Bunkhouse Stampede and talked about wanting to be the world champion. I always liked anything Brad did. I really did.
But
even when he dressed up in a
I mean, I'm not gonna let you get on here and say that was a good promo. There's a lot of money, brother. You know,
it was your basic wrestling promo.
What's disappointing is we as wrestling fans, we've heard behind the scenes, nobody was funnier. Nobody could hold court like him. He was such one of the boys to a 10. And then sometimes when the red light goes on, as we hear, he just wasn't as comfortable as he was backstage, just shooting the shit with the guys.
You talking about Brad there distinctly, or just anybody? Okay.
Brad, have you not heard that?
Yeah. Brad was good. Yeah. Brad was a funny guy, good guy. Look, I say this, you either can or you can't. I really believe that you can get better if you put effort into it. But guys like, I mean, just pick the guys like Ric Flair, like Jim Cornette, like CM Punk, like MJF.
What a promo that was, huh?
Oh my God. Those guys have it.
Yeah.
And and if you don't have it, you can get better. You can.
It's just practice makes perfect.
Dusty, Roddy Piper. I know I'll miss somebody. I'm sorry.
We know you're not as sharp as you once were. You got to get that Legacy Edge product get going again.
I'm pretty damn sharp.
I was being
an old fucker. Here we go.
Just trying to plug a sponsor. It's my bad.
Okay.
You're great, and everybody knows it. You're wonderful.
Yeah. Don't do that. I have to edit it out.
I'm not doing a full-blown spot, you motherfucker.
I know. Hit the M button on your thing. Boom.
You hit the M on yourself.
No, I'm not. I got your M right here. Look at this flame, motherfucker.
Where's your M in your prison pocket?
I got you. Oh, wait a second.
Hey, somebody around here stretching the friendship. Bro, let me tell you something. The Barbarian, that's right, Mr. Massive. He just come back from an Asian tour. He whooped so many Asians, they run him out of the country. So I want y'all to know that he's so bad, they talk about Double Awesome. He bad by himself, including me. So you know that we ain't gonna do nothing but get down. And I will tell everybody, you better be looking over your shoulder. And I do mean everybody looking over your shoulder for this pair right here, because we are going to be taking care of business. And I'm going to tell you what, Bunkhouse Stampede, that's right, the Barbarian and Shaska are going to make ourselves known to the world that this is the most awesome reckoning crew that they ever put together. And you know who I'm talking about. I want you, who I'm talking about, to be the first one to see how bad we are. Showing that big Barb that we gonna be taking care of business. And another thing, every one of you hillbillies, you gonna regret today that you made the Shaska man mad, because I am the one that started it. I am the one that got the job done. And I am going to be the one that's going to see it all the way through. Every one of you. Dig it, sucker.
Shaska and the Barbarian with us on World Championship Wrestling. More action right after this time.
I need a best of Shaska episode. Just me and you just listening to his promos one after a fucking another. That was so great, dude.
Beat up so many Asians, they ran him out.
They ran him out the country. It's funny because, you know, Asia's not a country, but whatever.
Right, exactly.
It was tremendous. God, he was so good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, we have Tim Horner wrestling. Yeah, Tim, fireman's carry takeover into an arm bar. Still has the arm bar. Hangs onto the arm bar after the scoop and slam, and there he is, man. Tim Horner.
What do you think Tim Horner's thinking about? Right?
I don't know. I wonder why that damn Conrad didn't like me. I was really a nice guy, and you're
you know what? You're exactly right. I need to stop that. I'm just trying to entertain. I don't even know him, but I've heard from a few people that he's a great guy. But
yeah, he's and
just trying to entertain. My apologies, Mr. Horner.
Yeah, Schiavone always liked me. He thought I was a hell of a hand. And there's you see my ass in the camera. There you go. Take the shot of the guy. Don't take. There's my ass in the camera again. I know it's difficult. But as Tommy Edwards, your directing here, get another angle. I know it's hard to do because you got your cameras really set up in one. You don't have them all around the ring like we normally
There we go. They say face the camera is what you got to do. I know that. I know. I may be from Tennessee, but I know that. Okay. Yep. How about that Tennessee football team, by the way? Huh?
Well, they beat Vanderbilt, so
Well, you know, good. Vanderbilt's another team I don't like. But I got to thinking about.
It's heat with Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, I mean, they've always been awful.
We know why I have a heat with Vanderbilt?
I'd love to hear.
Because last year we had to postpone the Vanderbilt game because they didn't have enough players. And so we moved.
They had that Coco V. That ain't their
Okay,
fault.
let me finish the story. Then we moved it to the end of the year. Okay. And right at the very last minute, our senior day, Vanderbilt says, "Oh, we can't wrestle. We can't wrestle. We can't come out there because we don't have enough players."
So they should have risked it. You're saying?
No. What I'm saying is they fucking lied because they knew we'd beat their ass, and everybody knows that. They didn't want to have the expense of coming out to Georgia because they knew they'd get their ass beat. So what did Georgia do this year? They put 60 on them. I wish they'd have put 100 on them. Anyway, what I was going to say about, and this boy, a lot of football in this podcast. Many years ago, the University of Tennessee decided to fire Phil Fulmer.
Oh, and it's been downhill ever since.
It's been downhill ever since. I don't get it.
Well, that's karma right there.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
And if you have an issue with what we're saying about Tennessee, we encourage you to write a letter. Send your cards and letters to WHW Monday, P.O. Box 696969, Marietta, Georgia, 30303030303030.
Yeah.
Be sure to put attention. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, or RE trash on the. All right, here we go.
Bunkhouse Stampede. Everybody going to be bringing everything in the ring to knock you out. Well, baby, I don't go nowhere without this little piece of equipment right here. Now, you know, I'm going to tell you one thing. You got 25 guys in there. But I tell you got to have a strategy in the whole thing, Jack, because you're going to have Nikita Koloff and Dusty Rhodes. They're going to be banging heads with them Four Horsemen. And while they're banging heads with each other, we're going to be taking everybody else out. So what we can win with is a matter of attrition when everybody else is gone, baby, because I know Nikita, Dusty, they're going to pound on them Four Horsemen. We're going to be pounding on everybody else. Jack, show them what else we might bring in that ring. I'm going to tell you something, other Dutchman telling myself I've been in Plain Waynes and Council Grove, Kansas, Daddy. And that's exactly what this is going to be. You're going to take Plain Waynes and you're going to put it all over the country. That means if you want to go outside, grab a 2x4, grab it, Daddy. If you want to take a cowboy boot and you want to kick somebody, kick them, Daddy. Yeah. But I'll guarantee you one thing that's going to come down is there's going to be a few old boys walking out of the ring with a little bit of aid, if you know what I mean. And let me tell you something. You know, Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair, you all look real good supporting this. So would you, Russians. And I'll tell you something, there's a lot of animosity in the ring when there's $25,000 staring at you, Daddy. And I'll tell you something right now. You boys out there, you Four Horsemen, you're a little greedy. Take a look around. Which one of you might club the other one in the back of the head with a 2x4? Dutch and I don't care, because we're going to be doing a lot of clubbing ourselves, Daddy. Bunkhouse Stampede, Jayhawks know how to do it, and we're going to do it.
Okay, the Kansas Jayhawks talking about.
Buddy, that's maybe the best promo Bobby Jaggers have ever had.
Yeah.
I love the guy in the crowd. Tell us about it.
That's because he said, "Let me tell you something," 4 times. I counted them in that interview.
And then
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
So good.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, Don Cronodle.
Buddy,
we got it.
Is it just me or are we getting treated to a B show here today?
I was saying this is a pared down version of apparently the big stars are not here today. I don't see a horseman around. I don't even know if a horseman was on this or not. And
well, if they had any women 18 to 35 with no husbands, no boyfriends, and or a tray of Stoli Seabreezes, they couldn't have been that far away.
Well, I think the Rock and Roll Express is going to be on the show, but I don't think we are going to see any horsemen nor Dusty Rhodes on this show. So when was this recorded? You say November, what, 23rd?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was, what, a Saturday?
So up next, we've got Dutch Mantel and Bobby Jaggers taking on Bill Tabb and Phil Brown. And then we've got Bill Dundee teaming up with Jimmy Garvin. That's right. They're doing another match. And they're going to take on Bob and Brad Armstrong.
Yeah, so I think this may be the angle I'm talking about, if I remember it correctly.
Well, let me tell you this. The run-in from Bob Armstrong, the rare appearance of the Bullet, has me excited. And I'm all about that Shaska promo we got earlier.
Yep.
It's impossible for this to be a less than awesome show now that we know we've heard from Shaska. I mean, that was one of his better promos of all time right there.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best.
I wish so badly that we would have been able to talk to him before it was too late.
It would have been great. Yeah, it would have been great.
It would have been awesome for us to think he was winding down and he's cutting a promo on you and I.
Yeah.
Then he goes, and another thing right before he hangs up. It's tremendous.
Schiavone, you undercover hillbilly. I love that term, undercover hillbilly.
By the way, if you are an undercover hillbilly, come on out to 5007 La Vista Road in Tucker, Georgia. This Saturday at 10 a.m., right before Georgia sticks it up Alabama's ass. You'll have an opportunity to do a meet and greet. So if you're coming into town to see the SEC championship and watch Alabama end their historic run at the hands of Georgia, Tony Schiavone will be there. 5007 La Vista Road, Tucker, Georgia. It's a Tony Schiavone meet and greet this Saturday, December 4th, 10 a.m.
It's Infinite Realities, I believe the name of the comic shop, and I'll be signing copies of my book, so you can pick up my book, and I'll be there for quite a while saying hello to everybody. Isn't it something? The first SEC championship game that Georgia's been in that I've ever missed.
Wow. I didn't really think about that, but
yep.
You've been there for so long. Yeah, this is it. And thankfully, this is a merciful God, and this noodle match is over too.
Don was
one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
And you know, I think we've mentioned this on the air before. I want to go back to it because I know we're going to do a promo here.
Oh, here we go.
You've taken quite a beating over your last couple of matches, but it's good to see you out here with us.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here. Like you said, being the NWA World Tag Team Champions, which is a pleasure for us to represent NWA. You know, defending these belts, we go through a lot of hard, different matches, Tony. And injuries occur every day in this business. And that's what's happened to us. You know, I hate to say that, you know, the Bunkhouse Stampedes are coming up, and with the injuries that we have occurred to us, we might have to take a little time off. But I'm hoping that we'll not be able to miss some of the Stampedes coming up, because I always look forward to that through the year. You know, it's great excitement for the Stampede going around the country, and the people I know outside enjoy seeing all that. But like I said earlier, you know, I hope that the injuries heal up pretty quick, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Good to see both you gentlemen again. The Rock and Roll Express with us here at World Championship Wrestling. More action right after this time out.
By the way, I don't know why everybody's saying, oh, that, you know, the fans look forward to these Bunkhouse Stampede matches. I mean, did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear?
Nah, they sucked.
Yeah.
I'll tell you nothing less than irate. What's going on?
I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Bobby and Dennis and Bubba, they all got out in the camp. They were ready to leave, and all of a sudden I spied somebody on the street, just like all these fans in here in the studio, carrying this pumpkin. Well, I'm going to show you what I think of this dang pumpkin. We are not pumpkin heads. We are not idiots. We are not fools to be made fun of. And I'm sick and tired of being called pumpkin heads. The Midnight Express is sick and tired of being called pumpkin heads. And the Road Warriors are responsible for it. Well, the Bunkhouse Stampede's coming up in December. All those battle royals, 20, 25 men for $25,000 a pop. Everybody in the ring, and you know what's legal. Chairs, chains, rocks, bottles, bricks, sticks, pot pans, and tin cans. Anything goes. And the only objective is to be the last man standing up in the ring to get that check for $25,000. Well, I got my Midnight Express, and I got Big Bubba Rogers, who's the baddest man in the world. And they're all three. They're going to be working as a unit. They're going to be working as a team, and they're going to go out there, and they're going to snatch some checks for me, and they're going to bring them right home, and I'm going to send them to Mama, and she's going to put them in our account. And they're going to grow a lot of interest, which I'm going to divvy out to the boys, and everybody's going to be happy. And if anybody, and I mean anybody, tries to stand in our way, I don't care whether it's friend or foe, then, brother, they're going down. Big Bubba's going to squish them, or Loverboy Dennis and Beautiful Bobby are going to beat their brains out. Because when that much money's at stake, there are no friends. There are no partners. There's only the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette united against everybody else in the world. And if you think for 1 second that even a brother, even a cousin, even a relative wouldn't turn their back on somebody for 25 grand or better, you're crazy. And Road Warriors, you're going to be in some of those Bunkhouse Stampedes. If we can't do it there, then we're going to scaffold you all over the country. Los Angeles, Minneapolis, wherever it may be, your career is coming to an end at the hands of the Midnight Express.
Jim Cornette, let's go back to the ring.
Yikes.
Dude, he was wide open, dude.
He was wide open. I guess they had time to fill because that's the third time we've seen him on set there. But you know what? He's one of those that could. So let's go. Hey, so I was going to say that we've talked about this before, I know, and I've put the footage on our WHW Patreon site that Don Kernodle was still involved in one of the biggest angles ever in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, when he and Sergeant Slaughter were the World Tag Team Champions and faced Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. It's right before, I believe I started with Jim Crockett Promotions, maybe early 83 or maybe 82. But they had the final conflict at the Greensboro Coliseum, and they turned people away that night in that cage match. Dave Meltzer even referenced it in his obituary about Don Kernodle. It was one of the biggest angles ever. So, and yeah, Sergeant Slaughter, obviously, and Ricky Steamboat had a lot to do with that, but
still, Don was a player there.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And it was a pretty damn good angle. When they had, I think it was Private Nelson, Jim Nelson. Remember, he and Kernodle were the privates for Sergeant Slaughter. I don't know if you remember that, but I distinctly remember it. That was about around the time that I was getting married and was in love.
I thought Sergeant Slaughter was the man when I was a kid.
He was something else, buddy. Heel and babyface. He made a lot of money with Hasbro too, didn't he?
That's what I wanted to mention. You know, when I had my tonsils taken out as a kid, afterwards, my parents said, "Hey, we're taking you to Toys R Us. You can get you know, anything you want. Get one toy, anything you want." And I got this Sergeant Slaughter that had this little tank with it.
Wow.
Dude, it was the shit when I was a kid.
You still have it by any chance?
Nah. I'm a grown-ass man, Tony.
I know, but some grown-ass men can make a lot of money off of those small-ass toys. Ask Matt Cardona.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, we just had him over at adfreeshows.com doing a little collecting 101 thing. How fun was that?
Wow. Man, I could do a little collecting 101 on baseball cards. I'm very close to finishing my 1965 Topps collection. I have one more card to get.
Oh man, that's so great. You know, we were just talking about that the other day. We were concerned that you might not, you know, get that done.
It's the Mickey Mantle card, and those are the most expensive. So.
Oh, well, you know, JR's got one. You should.
Yeah, I know, but he's got like 1952 Donruss. I want the 65 Topps. And the cheapest I've found for 65 Topps is $200. So I'll just let that bake a little bit. Anyway, so here are the Kansas Jayhawks. We've had the Kansas Jayhawks, Tim Horner, Brad Armstrong, Don Kernodle, the Midnight Express. So, yeah, it's been kind of a pared down show talent-wise, hasn't it? It's kind of, like you said, kind of like the B-Team show.
It is the B-Team show.
Yeah, Shotska and the Barbarian together. But, you know, people tuned into it.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah, why not?
What does yeah mean? What are you?
I'm not it's not what it used to be.
You mean the birth of Jesus? Jesus has let you down?
You're really looking for shit. When you bring Jesus' name up, when you try to make me a heel when it comes to Jesus.
Oh, wait.
Hang on. Here we go.
Right now, but I tell you what, I've got a match coming up here. I'm supposed to have a match coming up here, but I'm willing to scratch that match and forget it all. If Jim Garvin is listening to me, Dundee, Garvin, if you're listening to me, brother, I'll take you on either one of your tag. It doesn't matter to me. I'm willing to throw that out, man, because Armstrongs don't take this.
I feel all right. I got a knot on my head, but I believe in payback. If he's going to deliver, he's got to take what's good coming to him right now. Now, I may be a little dizzy, but I got this. I got no wrestling gear. I came up here to visit, but I'm going to take this coat off and I'll wrestle in these blue jeans and booty kicking shoes. If you can get them out right now, we'll go to the ring and we won't have no more talking and we'll settle it like it ought to be settled in the ring. 2-on-2 this time.
That's right. Let's get it on now.
Okay. All right, Tony. We know they're back there. We know they can hear. It's all right, Dundee. Come on, Garvin. You guys are so big now. He got it now.
There they come.
Bro.
Just up the road a little bit. Now you want to make a reputation for yourself, huh? Well, let me tell you something, Bullet Bob. You ain't gonna do it, Daddy, because you're an idiot to come out here and do what you did. No, we ain't gonna. You want us to beat him up, George? We can beat him up, George.
I believe you should. I think you should go.
Are you guys going to the ring?
All right. Go ahead. Come on.
There they go to the ring.
We have got a match, Tony. Come on, you guys, get in the ring.
Well, it's obvious the network edited out the trash can shot. So they come out during another promo and they pull down the jacket of Bullet Bob and they hit him in the head with a trash can.
Why would they take that out?
I don't know, but they did because you saw the Armstrongs come back out, right?
Yeah,
and
they were ready for a fight, but nothing happened.
Nothing had happened, but something did happen on that show. So, and these guys, I think, are going to go basically the remainder of the show here.
Yeah, I mean, they get a long match here, 12 minutes change, which is a lot for a TV match, right?
Damn right it is. So yeah, I remembered correctly, but damn, they took it out. They pulled Bob Armstrong's that white coat down across his arms, hit him in the head, because he had come out by himself. Because remember, I asked him to come back out.
Yeah,
I said, we love to see you come on back out and talk to us. He came out by himself, and those two came out and attacked him, and now we've got a tag match.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
It's almost like as disappointed as you are in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, on his birthday. His birthday apparently let you down.
I'll have you know that I'm very active in my church.
So do they know that you hate Jesus?
No, I love Jesus. Okay.
But why would you say that Christmas is the same or whatever you were saying about?
Well, no, Christmas isn't the same because I don't have kids at the house.
You got grandkids, Tony.
Well, but they're not at the house, Conrad.
Well,
you used to wake up.
Live with you?
You used to wake up. You used to wake up Christmas morning, right? Wake up on Christmas morning, 5 kids, all the toys, crazy, and then we'd have something to eat. It was a crazy, crazy time. And now we wake up Christmas morning, it's just me and Lois. So Christmas is not what it used to be. It has nothing to do about Jesus. It has nothing to do about the birthday of Jesus Christ or anything like that. Jesus Christ, Conrad.
Wait a minute now.
Why in the world are you going there? Watch out, sunset flip. And he almost got him. Why are you going there? Why are you fucking going there? You running out of shit.
No, I'm not. You said
your routine, you're running out of shit.
Here's what you said.
Okay.
Jesus' birthday is not the same. That's what
I did not say that. I said Christmas morning is not the same.
You didn't say morning.
Okay. I go to mass at midnight every year. So there. I'm very, very involved in my church. Got to be involved in your church, I think. Especially if you're in my shoes, because some divine intervention and Conrad Thompson entered my life and helped me out. So.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
I hope you and Jesus, come to terms.
Yeah.
I know he loves your birthday.
This is a new low for you, buddy. New low.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm proud of it.
Hold on. Oh, I had to pull down the mic. Made me laugh again.
Boy, Bob Armstrong had some fire for an old guy, didn't he?
They did.
Man, you know, a fighting fireman from Marietta, Georgia. Yeah.
Some of our younger listeners are not familiar with Bob Armstrong.
Yeah.
But Bob Armstrong was really the patriarch of one of the great wrestling families.
Yes.
He's not only Scott Armstrong's dad. He's not only who we see on WWE programming. He's not only Steve Armstrong's dad, who we know used to be one half of the tremendous tag team with Tracy Smothers.
Right.
He's not only the father of Brad Armstrong, who everyone agrees is one of the most criminally underrated in-ring performers of all time. But he's Road Dogg Jesse James's dad as well.
Yep.
And in the South, Bob Armstrong was a staple. I mean, my dad remembers going to see Bullet Bob Armstrong as a kid.
Sure.
He had been wrestling for a long, long time all over the South. And when you think about the influence he had, not only on Southern fans, but on young wrestlers, Arn Anderson credits Bob Armstrong with giving him one of his first big breaks.
Yeah.
And he was the perennial white meat babyface. I mean, you want to talk about the good guy. Bob Armstrong was the epitome of that.
Yeah.
And he just presented himself as a family man and just a good dude, just a dad. And from what I understand, even until he passed away a few years ago, he still had the old weight bench in the garage and was getting after it every chance he got.
I'm sure he was. I had a chance to spend some time with Bob, and you kind of try to remember exactly where it was. We were either riding on a shuttle one day to an arena, or we were in a car together and we were talking about the business. And he said in that Southern voice, something I'll never forget, and it has always stuck with me. He said, if you beat up somebody and you don't give them something and you don't make them look good, if you don't give your opponent something, then you've beaten up nobody and you've done nothing for yourself. He always thought that, yeah, it's good to have the squash matches to win, but you got to make the other person look good. And that's always stuck with me. I mean, I knew that that's pretty much, you would think, logical. But Bob Armstrong kind of said it best, and he was a good man. I don't know if he's a good man, but he was a good man to hang around with. I don't know that much about his personal
I'm sure
life.
he was a great man.
Yeah, I'm sure he was too.
We're seeing a pretty good match here, and you guys are going to a commercial break.
I know. I bet.
I mean, how about a 2-match segment? How about that?
We'll continue in picture in picture. Wait, wrong show. Wrong
Restaurant quality. And we come back, and of course, they're in a hold. And by they, I mean Bob Armstrong and Bill Dundee.
Yeah.
This is where you talk, Tony. What do you think Bill Dundee's thinking right here?
Oh, what I'm thinking Bill Dundee's thinking is, I'm that small little guy, and, well, I want to make a tag, and this motherfucker's got my arm. Oh, here comes another. Whoa, what the fuck kind of angle did they want us to do? I thought, didn't I wrestle earlier? Oh, all right. Fuck you. I'm going to go outside. My elbow hurts. It really hurts, okay? It's not a work. It hurts. It's not a sell job. Look at that, Precious. Look at that. Oh. All right. Oh, I see. Fucked you up, didn't I? Hit you with the other elbow. Now would be the time to mention again that in about a month, we're going to be back on TBS. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, AEW going on over.
Right. That's some old school stuff. Wish we could do it up old school, but obviously you got to acknowledge the past and move forward. You can't backtrack. We can backtrack because that's what we're about. But I'm talking, oh, they got Precious on the apron. What did they just, oh, he's spraying the
spray that Dundee took.
gracious, in the eyes. Bob and Brad are down. Look at Bob, bottom of your screen.
This is old school Southern wrestling right here.
Yes, it is. And they're giving them all four of these guys are busting your ass here, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Yeah, people came away with that day in 1986 saying, man, we just saw a hell of a wrestling match, man. Did you see that show, man? 6:05 on Saturday? That's a hell of a show. Yeah, let's see. The Braves playing tonight? Or maybe it's Andy Griffith? Or Mayberry RFD?
What does the RFD stand for?
Rule-free delivery.
Oh, how about that?
See, only rednecks who live in the sticks know that.
I mean, I didn't know what you were saying right there. I thought it was some sort of prison speak.
No, RFD that was a show. Ken Berry. That was the follow-up to the Andy Griffith show. Oh, you had to heard of Mayberry RFD.
I know about Mayberry. I didn't know about Mayberry RFD.
That was a show.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think Aunt B was still in that show when it first started, and a lot of the characters were still there. But Ken Berry's character moved into Mayberry and lived on the outside of town.
3 seasons starting in 1968.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah. So let me ask you, as a youngster now, this is 1986. So you are what?
5 years old.
I'm 5 years old.
5 years old.
5 years old. So you're 5 years old here. And as you move through life into the 90s, what did your Saturday night consist of as a young child?
Going to bed.
Yeah.
It was always, when they had Saturday night's main event, I was a huge fan, but I didn't start watching until 88.
Okay.
So it was really tough for me to be able to stay awake and actually watch Saturday night's main event. So we would set the VCR.
Oh, okay.
And my uncle would come over and try to watch with me, and he would try to wake me up, but it was really hard because I grew up as a kid who wanted to get up with dad every morning. And my dad at the time was a prison guard, and he worked first shift. So he had to, and there was a little bit of a drive, maybe 30 minutes. So he had to get up like at the crack of dawn. I mean, 4 a.m. So I would get up at 4 a.m. with dad while he has a cup of coffee and watches The Rifleman in black and white. So by 10:30, buddy, I'm all tuckered out. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to wonder for all of us here, and I don't know what you consider your childhood. I mean, I guess mine consider when I started elementary school. I remember only spots about before I started going to school, but during my childhood, what my Saturdays consisted of, because the families were usually together, dad working during the week, and it was a lot of TV watching, and obviously Saturday night 6:05 was a big part of a lot of people's childhoods in the 80s.
It was not part of mine. We would watch wrestling, but it was usually a Saturday morning syndicated thing. But again, that started in 88.
Right.
In 86, I was probably knee deep in G.I. Joe and He-Man and Mask, M-A-S-K.
Mm-hmm.
I was also a big football fan. I was actually playing football at 5 years old. My parents started me early.
Oh.
And, I got into trading cards. And of course, some of us grew out of that. You and I are not two of those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember the Saturday game of the week, baseball, and of course in the 70s, in the middle of 70s, when I started watching wrestling, look at the hell of a drop kick from Brad Armstrong.
Off the top rope, a missile drop kick. Indeed.
That's right. Kind of ahead of its time. Then I started watching wrestling. We had wrestling on the Richmond station, WTVR TV6, on the Roanoke station, WSLS TV 10, and then at night, at 11:30 at night, we had Worldwide Wrestling on the Lynchburg station, WXIX, I believe. So I watched 3 syndicated shows every Saturday, and we didn't have TBS for a little while. Then we got TBS and started watching that.
Look at there.
The Armstrongs, Brad and Bob Armstrong.
Armstrong. There you see.
All right. I think we may get this promo here that I was talking about.
It was a double DQ if you're not watching with us.
Strong back over here with us now. Nothing short of a war. Both teams disqualified. What a match.
That's the way it should be. No 1-on-2, no trash cans. Just 2 arms, 2 legs, 2-on-2. Let's go with it. Now, I got a lot of things to do in other places, but I want to tell you one thing, Brandon. I promise you, Bullet Bob Armstrong's going to be back with Jim Crockett Promotions because the war has just started. And when I get back, brother, we're going to finish the war. Bring what you want. We'll finish the job and carry you home.
Brad, what an event. Now, stay right with us for a second. I know you're out of breath, but I know a lot of things are going through your mind.
Yeah, I'm a little bit out of breath. If you had guys kicking you in the ribs and stomping you in the mouth every 5 seconds, I guess you'd be out of breath too, but I tell you what, I was brought up in a wrestling background and I'm proud as hell to be an Armstrong, Jack. And I'll tell you one thing. Dundee, if you ain't back there laying flat on your back, suck your wind. Listen to this, fella. I got something for you. Come on out here and take it. So the time limit don't call for it. So you want to jump in 4-on-4, 2-on-2. It don't matter as long as the odds are even, brother. The Armstrongs have a fighting chance.
Let's make it a no-time limit and just leave it so somebody can't stand up, if you know what I mean.
Okay, let's take a look at the conclusion of that match between.
And that was a great Armstrong promo right there. You were exactly right. I got the goosebumps.
Yeah,
Brad was on fire there.
I'm proud to be an Armstrong, man. He hit the desk. I remember the whole thing. And Bob referenced a trash can.
Yes, he did.
That we edited out. Man, I love it when my memory serves me well. Doesn't do it much.
And Bob said it. Bob said he has something else to do, some places to go, but he'll be right back to settle this score with superstar Bill Dundee and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious. It all started right here at this podium with the trash can and ended, well, at least temporarily ended in the ring with all 4 men giving it their all. And like I said, when you talk about Brad and Bob Armstrong and you jump on them, you're talking about family. World Championship Wrestling. Don't forget the Bunkhouse Stampede comes your way Monday, and it comes your way all through the month of December. For David Crockett and all of us here at Jim Crockett Promotions, I'm Tony Schiavone. We'll see you next week.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com. By the way, I want to mention Bob Armstrong will make one more appearance with Jim Crockett Promotions in the year of 1986, our Lord and Savior.
Mm-hmm.
He would show up at the debut for Jim Crockett Promotions at the Rosemont Horizon, December 14th. So 3 weeks after we just saw him here, that was recorded on the 23rd, he's going to show up at the Rosemont, and there's 12,500 fans there. He's in the Bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal. Road Warriors would win it. Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey would be in there. Big Bubba, Wahoo, Ole, Arn, Ivan, Crusher, Shaska, Dick Murdoch, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Dutch Mantell, Bobby Jaggers, Tim Horner, Barry Windham, Jimmy Valiant, Rick Rude, Mandy Fernandez, Jimmy Garvin, the Barbarian, and of course the Baron. And Bob Armstrong is among them. How about that?
Yeah, all-star lineup. 1986 was a banner year for Jim Crockett Promotions. We have now moved past a couple of things here. We take a look at what we have done. We have gone past the Great American Bash, the Rock and Roll Express Super Summer Sizzler Tour, the horrible accident that took Magnum TA out. We have seen Starrcade and Nikita Koloff turn babyface. And now we're heading towards the Bunkhouse Stampede. And you said something during the course earlier this podcast. We all said the fans love to see it, but in reality, a Bunkhouse Stampede was not really a great thing to watch, was it?
No.
But we went on with it. Do you think that in hindsight, it was the right? I mean, we obviously play armchair quarterback a lot, but do you think that in hindsight, it would have been best to go with something else? Did that kill our momentum? Do you think?
It's hard for me to say. It will be interesting as we talk about 1987. I want to give everybody a heads up. You and I have talked a little bit off air, and we've decided we're going to deviate from the format a little bit next year. Not a ton, but a little bit.
Right.
And we're going to keep watching the big moments from 1987, but we're going to try to avoid some of the more pedestrian episodes. And we're going to be bouncing around a little bit, Tony. We're going to talk about some silly stuff, some TNA stuff, some WWF stuff, some ECW stuff. And we're going to be taking your suggestions. We're going to cover some of the events that you really enjoyed that Tony's never seen, or maybe he hasn't seen in a long time. So the old standard format for WHW is back come 2022.
Yeah.
But if you loved what we did here for all things 1986, don't fret. All the major moments that you remember from 1987, we're still going to hit in the new year. And Tony, that is great news.
That is great news. I'm just trying to put my finger on, there's so many things that led to this promotion had so many things going for it and was so hot and doing things the right way. And I'm just trying to connect the dots on what went wrong. And obviously I think more than anything else, the overhead that Jimmy took when he bought UWF led to the demise. But the creativity, you're going to go with ups and downs periods in all wrestling. Every promotion has done that. AEW is on an upswing right now. AEW is going to have a downswing. I don't know how far down it's going to go, but there's going to be times when, we got to think about it. It's not what it used to be type thing. So I'm just trying to, I'm trying to go back and think about what went down. Now, we had a big bunkhouse stampede in a cage in Nassau Coliseum that Jim Ross and Bob Caudle did the commentary for, and I was the ring announcer. And that was the same night that I think Ric Flair faced Road Warrior Hawk, and Dusty came through and won the, but we'll talk about that later. But nevertheless, it was a great year.
It was a great year. We've enjoyed 1986. We're not done. We're going to keep it going through the end of the month of December. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I'm pumped about Christmas. I, for one, still love Jesus, and I want to celebrate his birthday. His birthday has not lost any luster with me, which is more than I can say for Tony Schiavone. But Tony, we don't have time to talk about that anymore. We'll try to talk about your soul next week on the program. But for now, it looks like it's about that time.
It is just about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Larry Thompson that we know almost had a conniption between Auburn and Alabama. And we also want to say hello to Jesus, because unlike Conrad Thompson, my soul is not desperately out of time. We will see you next week on What Happened When. We come to you each and every Wednesday on the Cumulus Podcast Network, but on Mondays, exclusively only on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.